Hello, there's Veer. My name is Squid, and today I'll be talking about Red Hot Vengeance, a free top-down shooter a la Hotline Miami made by Bros Before Giraffes. They're a three-man indie team with Max Townsend working as a graphic designer and writer, Alex Dahlgren, who is a programmer and game designer, and Brandon, who works as a music composer and sound designer. In the game, plays an ex-mafia enforcer, whom I'll be referring to as John for convenience, getting revenge on his old boss. The game has you battle through levels as you complete objectives to get to the next arena. This could be as simple as getting a key card or entering a vehicle that takes you to the next area, although some levels have you do something a bit more complicated, such as destroying chemicals or assassinating a specific target. Of course, no shooter is complete without a variety of weapons, and RHV has a good amount to play with. The weapons are separated into categories, primary and secondary. In the primary category, you have the SM5, which is your basic automatic rifle, the MOS 500, which acts as your standard shotgun, be able to obliterate any enemies if you're close enough. The M4 Carbine, another automatic rifle, however, has a smaller magazine compared to the SM5, but it trades this off by being more accurate and dealing more damage to armored targets. The final primary weapon is the Bat, which kills any enemies you hit, and also doesn't alert any nearby enemies. A fun choice, but it's not very practical. When it comes to secondary weapons, you have a wide variety of options, including the M11 handgun, which is your standard pistol, being able to kill most enemies in 4 shots. The MB10, which is your traditional SMG, having a large magazine and high fire rate, but in exchange is quite inaccurate at long ranges. The H45 Suppress, a personal favorite of mine, which operates similar to the M11 but has a slightly smaller magazine. It does, however, operate under the video game rules of being almost completely silent when fired. Then there's the sawed-off shotgun, which acts like a slightly weaker version of the MOS 500. And finally, there's the nail gun, a silent weapon which has a magazine of 30 nails. This weapon is unique as you can't reload it. It's mostly used for challenges in the late game, although it can be found in the level junkyard. Every secondary weapon can be dual wield with either the same type of gun, or you can combine it with different weapons. Find a combination that suits you. The main drawback of dual wielding 2 of the same weapons is that you still have the same ammo reserve, so you burn through bullets twice as fast. You may have noticed I lock onto the enemies I fight. By hovering over an enemy with your crosshairs and pressing the F key, you favor that enemy. This gives you near aimbot levels of accuracy, perfect for any one-on-one encounters, although it can be a detriment while fighting multiple enemies. Another fun factor of this game is utilizing the environment to your advantage. You can shoot through any doors or windows in the level, destroying that object in question. However, if any enemies see you, they can also shoot through the window. The same is true if you damage a door enough. Also, in several levels, there are flammable boxes that, when shot at, will explode, killing nearby enemies. In a few late game levels, you can also activate several levers which operate meat hooks, which will pierce and kill any enemies in its way. The main way you operate this gameplay is through the campaign and the in-game content, which I will be spoiling in this review. If you wish to avoid spoilers, I recommend you play the game as it is free, and I highly recommend it. If you don't care either way, we shall proceed. After a quick tutorial that shows you basic mechanics, the game begins in a slideshow-esque manner in which we see draw stills over voiceover. Here, John is given a mission to assassinate an accountant who is friends with a Russian mob. This year, we also learn that John has a simple rule: he won't kill women or children. With that, we start the first mission, Metro, a simple mission in which you must board a train to assassinate your target. A notable part is near the end of the train segment, in which you must shoot enemies on a different train that's running alongside yours. The mission ends with a cutscene of John assassinating his target, and what is a pretty cool transition to the game's title card. Metro works as a simple mission to ease players into the gameplay loop that they will be experiencing for the rest of the game. The next level, Mansion, has our character assassinate another target who is held up in a safe room on the upper floor. This is another simple level, although it does introduce the player to the keycard mechanic. At the end of most levels, progress will be blocked by a locked door, which will require you to find the keycard in order to progress. Once you get through all of the guards and collect the second keycard, you can enter the safe room, which has your target. However, unlike last time in which we killed an accountant, here we simply find a little girl huddling into the corner. John says that he's willing to do anything, but he will never break his single rule, knowing that if left there she will be killed, so John takes her to his safe house. At this point, I believe that I have run down the story. It will be a typical story of a cold adult slowly warming up to a child companion. Although a bit stereotypical, it is an effective method to flesh out both main characters in a story, and I was interested to see how they will change from the beginning to the This starts the level Apartments, where you begin in the parking lot with 4 enemies between you and your car. From there you have to fight your way through 3 floors until you finally get to your room. There John finds the girl barely alive after the explosion. He knows she isn't going to make it, and to leave her there will just cause unnecessary suffering. So John breaks his one rule. John didn't have anything outside of his rule, which the mob have now taken away from him. So now he'll take everything away from them. If you want to take out the mob, you need to hit them at their foundations, which leads to the next level, the labs. Here you must infiltrate 3 drug labs and destroy chemicals used in the manufacturing. You will have to be careful as damaging the chemicals will cause them to explode. Of course, you can use this to your advantage as there will normally be guards by them. The difficulty ramps up throughout the level, with the first lab only having 4 guards, while the last lab will have 2 different buildings with heavily armed guards. Without their labs, the mob will have to import drugs through warehouses in the docks, which leads to the next level, the warehouse. Here your mission is to simply kill everyone there. Another simple mission, although it does add the mechanic of shelves which you can shoot through. At the end of the level, you're tasked with killing Ciliani, who's presumably the mafioso running the docks. After this you start the level Restaurants, in which John has to quickly assassinate the capos before they catch wind of what happened at the docks. They utilize restaurants to launder their money, so John's going to hit them on their routine visits of their establishments. This level is quite unique compared to previous levels, as you only have to kill 1 person in order to progress. Near the end you're introduced to a new enemy type, the police. They act similarly to guards, although at a certain point of a level you will be told that police reinforcements are coming, and after a couple of seconds the level will be swarmed with police officers, which are included with the existing enemies. Forced to retreat from the police, John jumps into a fleeing meat truck. This leads to the next level, Slaughterhouse, in which you have to fight through a meat packing plant run by a man named Vince. The meat plant is used in order to get rid of their bodies, with the implication that some of the meat is human flesh. A unique mechanic introduced with this level is the usage of meat hooks. Using the lever will cause the meat hook to run down their line, instantly killing any goons in their way. Killing Vince completes the level and takes out the mob's corpse disposal. Next on the hit list is Tommy, also known as the Censor, due to the fact he likes to slice the tongues off of those he doesn't like. Tommy runs a junkyard, which is used to chop and sell stolen cars, as well as store guns for the mob. This leads to the next level, Junkyard. In this level you have to utilize car walls in order to single out enemies and use them as cover, although some walls only have 1 car in which both you and enemies can shoot over. This is also a level which has the nail gun. With all of the bloodshed you cause, the remaining underbosses meet up for an emergency meeting. This is a set for my personal favorite mission, Hotel. You see every enemy is inside a room with none of them in the hallways, allowing you to effectively roleplay as a silent assassin as you self-kill every enemy room by room. This level is also an assassination level, so you can bypass a large number of enemies, although I wouldn't recommend it. It also introduces the final enemy type, the SWAT, who are heavily armored, meaning that they require either a lot of staying their ammo or well-placed shots with your primary weapon. With all his minions dead, your former boss Gino flees to the police for protection. This leads to the final level, Police Station, which starts with immediate bang as you send Vince's van, which you've been using to level the level, straight through the police station. Here you have to fight through waves of police and SWAT, even facing one of the previously mentioned police reinforcements, until you make it to the roof, where you have to battle the last few police and Gino's goons. This leads to the last cutscene, in which you have to beat the living hell out of Gino in a simple quick time sequence, ending with John throwing Gino off the police station, with him landing on a police car below. Afterwards, we get a short cutscene showing the Russian mob trying to recruit John after he slaughtered the Italians, which he refuses their offer, hinting at a potential sequel for the future. Although we've completed the campaign, there's much RHV still has to offer. First off, you might have noticed that your kills and deaths are counted at the end of each level. If you kill every enemy in a level, you'll get the No Mercy tag, and being the level with no deaths gains you the No Death badge. Also, after completing a level, you'll see a stopwatch at the beginning of each mission. This starts speedrun mode, in which you have to complete the level in less time provided by the developers. Last thing you can acquire from playing a mission is to collect a secret. These are represented with question marks, and once you collect 10 of them, you can unlock cheats, which I'll be talking about shortly. The next thing you unlock after completing the campaign is New Game Plus, which gives you every available weapon from the start. In exchange, there are more enemies per level. For example, Metro has 29 enemies, while Metro Plus has 47. Although this is a pretty cheap way to increase difficulty and can be extremely overwhelming at later levels, with Police Station having a little over 100 enemies. It does provide a challenge, especially if you try to get the 3 medals in every mission. Next to the late game content are the 30 challenges, also unlocked once you complete the campaign. These range from the simple, like beating a provided level with only a baseball bat or nail gun, to the more complex, like surviving a minute during a SWAT raid, or beating a level where an enemy explodes every time they die. My favorite being Blackout, in which the normally white background of the game is, well, black, making everything nearly invisible except for the now white doors and the red weapons and blood. Every challenge provides a unique experience, all accumulating in the final test, which is a challenge that throws a little bit of everything at you. The final bit of in-game content are the extras. These contain the credits, your stats, deleted scenes, and the achievement menu, unlocked once you collect all the secrets. The deleted scenes contain the original version of Mansion, the apartments, the second area of Warehouse, and the first location of Police Station. Cheats provide a myriad of fun options to the player, these being God Mode, which makes you invincible, Infinite Ammo, Powerful Punches, which makes your punches a one-hit kill, One Hit Mode, which makes both you and enemies die in a single hit, Exploding Enemies, which makes enemies explode upon death, and finally Enemy Multiplier, which either doubles, triples, or quadruples the number of enemies in a level. Overall, Red Hot Vengeance is a fun game that brings you in with its art style and music, but keeps you around with its addictive gameplay. RHV has a simple story to maintain its campaign, and enough endgame content to keep you around for a few more hours. Overall, I highly recommend this game, and I can't wait for any sequels that may come in the future. With all that said, all I have to say is goodbye.